Hey guys, how's it going? It's the Crypto Analyst here, and I hope all of you guys are having a good morning, evening, wherever you guys are from. And welcome to the Crypto Analyst live stream, where we do live technical analysis of Bitcoin. We talk about what's happening in the world of cryptocurrency and blockchain technology, and we break it all down to make sure it's easy for you guys to understand. And you guys are also, staying in touch with what's happening. So welcome everybody. We are getting this started up, but we're going to start this off as normal, just like every other one, making sure that the links go out to everybody who wants to watch. And then we get the show on the road. So there's a couple main things that we want to talk about today. Of course, this giant pennant that's on Bitcoin, that's probably going to be one of the big talks. And of course, first off, we have to send off these links. So let's go ahead and send out these links, and then we'll be able to get the show on the road. All right. There we go. What's up, everybody? How you guys doing? Perfect. Now we send this out to the Discord, and we're ready to go here. Oh, people are joining. There we go. What's up, guys? Slice Keeper, great to have you. Sorry, we're just sending out the notifications there. Jalen, great to have you. Slice Keeper, as always. Great to have both you guys in here. I'll give everyone a second to join. Strength, great to have you. Strength and Gains, welcome. So let's go ahead and talk about over here. I should probably move up this chat box just a little bit so it's not like on my head. There we go. So let's go ahead and talk about, I guess, while everybody's joined, while we're giving everyone a chance to make it on in here, let's talk about what we're going to be, I guess, breaking down today. The big overarching topic, which was this giant pennant, right? I almost made a video today earlier. Actually, after I recorded it, I didn't upload it because I wanted to break this down in the live stream, and then I think I'm going to cover it in into a video tomorrow. So what I did was I did a Patreon post about it, and then we're going to do a live stream about it right now, and then we're going to do a video about it tomorrow, so that we can really just, again, break this thing down in a couple different, I guess in 3 different segments. So let's talk about this, right? 3 touches on support, or 3 very separate touches on resistance, very clean, very nice, again, perfect touches on resistance, and a little bit more of a gap on support, but that's perfectly fine, and this is what we're seeing. So again, 3 touches, more than 3 touches on both of these guys, and it's looking pretty clean. So with this being said, I don't want to get too far into this here, because again, we're only 3 minutes in. I like to give this about 5 minutes to give this to warm up and give people a chance to join. So I usually give about 5 minutes before diving any deeper. Let me make sure I got this as well, so I can actually read chat properly. There we go. Slice Keeper said, Brendan, what's up? Not much. It's Friday night. I had some plans. They got canceled very last minute. Or they got moved to tomorrow. So now I'm free up tonight. So I was like, hey, man, if I'm free, if my plans are freed up, I might as well live stream, right? The pattern specialist. I don't know about that. I do mess around a lot. I guess maybe I am a specialist now. Not an expert, though. I'm feeling quite bearish when it comes to Bitcoin and Ethereum. So yeah, we're actually going to be talking about that today, Strength and Gains. Just got into the TA space. Crown is hella good. I don't think you guys know. I don't know if you know Jalen, but you're the second person to come and say that to me in the past day. And me and Crown worked together for months. Me and Crown, we worked together for forever. And so I still have his Discord. I'm still subbed to him. I've been trying to collab with him. He's just really busy. It's really hard to collab with Crown because he's over in... where is it? Poland or something like that? He's over by, not Poland, in, what's it called? He's over in Europe, in like Northern Europe. And I want to say Sweden maybe, somewhere over by Sweden, I'm pretty sure. It's like Sweden, Poland, that area. And he's over in there, and Finland, yeah, that's it, hence Sleeky. So he's over in there, and so the time zones are just so hard. Like if you guys see, he streams at either like 2 a.m. Eastern time or like, I don't know what the other one is, 10 a.m. Eastern time. So it's really hard to catch him. but I've been trying to talk to him a little bit, trying to collab with him. He's been blowing up lately. When I remember when I found Crown, when we started working together a couple of months ago, he was half my size. Yeah, he was half my size. And now he's like double my size. It's crazy. I'm so happy for him. It's great. Because he's a quality guy and he actually knows what he's doing. So all the more to people who actually know what they're doing in TA. You know, give them, you know, if it's not me, then like, you know, blow him up. Good. Because he's actually really good at what he does. Bitcoin to DGB. Boom. All right, let's see it. I'll tell you what, we're going to give this one more minute for people to join in here, and then we're going to go, ahead and get this started. Sorry. Let's look at this real fast, though. What is it? BTG? Oh, I think you meant BTC. Wait, what BTG? Boom. Oh, gosh. That was not the boom I was expecting. Well, I mean, you know, in the recent days, I guess it has done really good, right? It's been climbing over here. I guess just today it's really been underperforming, but besides today, you know, it's been great. Jeez, what was the other one that you said? Digibyte, the good old Digibyte. Yeah, look at this thing. All right. Anyway, let's go ahead back to Bitcoin, and let's break this down. I'm going to go through comments one more time, and then we're really going to get started over here. Because there really is a lot to talk about today. It's Leaky Finland. Yeah, that's right. Everyone loves Crown, dude. He is one of the funniest guys, too. Oh, I didn't know. Haha, small world. Yeah, I know, right? The more you know. Hello, and thank you for the live stream. Are you doing a private Patreon live stream public? No, so the thing that I was announcing earlier is that I made today's Patreon post is public to everyone. And so again, I do this occasionally just to kind of give people, if they like don't know what it is or they don't know if they want to do it or join it or whatever, I think it's only fair that like I do a couple of them free so that people can look at them and see if it's for them, and if it's not, I totally understand. But if they do enjoy it, then they know what to expect. And there's also like other stuff that I don't make free, but like a lot of the Bitcoin updates, occasionally I will make them free so that people can look and say, okay, well, if this is something I like, now I know. And if it's not for me, then now you know. So today I made today's Patreon post free. I think I actually have a link to it right here. I'll post it in chat in case anyone wants to go take a look at it. It should work. But if you guys want to go check it out, again, it's absolutely free today. So go check it out. Anyway, we're basically going to be covering like a portion of like what was covered in the Patreon. So again, guys, this giant pennant that we're seeing over here on Bitcoin is what we're going to be talking again. Again, resistance is looking great. Support's looking great, not as good as resistance, but they're both looking good. I want to talk about this neon blue line that I highlighted in here, because this is something that is, I don't know, relevant right now. I think that was the word I was looking for, because of the fact that you've looked at so many touch points. And you'll see this if you head over to the Patreon. It highlights it really well. And GD, we will cover Ethereum right after Bitcoin. So I wanted to highlight a couple of these things over here. So again, rejection from this line, broke through it, and then ever since then we've really been using it as support all in this area. If you look at all these, I don't want to draw over it too much, but you can see all in this area. Maybe you have wicks that are going through it, but everything that's been a candle body closing has been above this line. Really, you've had piercing candles through this, but it's still acted as support, saying, hey, this area has been able to hold candle body closings consistently above it. Yes, you have this little kind of mishap in here. Not too much happened. You see like one wick up that got rejected from it, but again, you can kind of ignore this for the most part. But again, this area, nonetheless, you can't say that it hasn't acted as either support or resistance. This has been a significant figure line in the price action of Bitcoin. So again, I'm keeping this in there because it's still right at that line. But now the big problem that you have, the big thing that you have coming in here, is that you have Bitcoin getting squeezed between your 50 EMA and your supports. And this is where you really start seeing the squeeze happen. Now, this is ideally a bearish pennant. If you guys don't know, I'm currently filming a technical analysis course that I'm making, and that was the thing that I covered yesterday. So it's actually really, really convenient, to be honest. The thing that I made yesterday was the video on Pennant. So I'm really happy because it kind of made me refresh myself in order to make the technical analysis video. So it's actually really convenient that we're forming such a good pennant right now and such a good example. So anyway, that was totally irrelevant, but it's cool just how things kind of work out like this. But this is technically classified as a bearish pennant, right? Because of the fact that it broke down, right? You have your pull, your bear pull. It broke down, then formed the pennant, meaning that this is a bearish pennant. Now, if you guys know what pennants are and how they work, or symmetrical triangles, then you guys are asking yourselves right now, okay, well, what is he talking about? Because pennants or symmetrical triangles are relatively neutral formation and continuation patterns. And if you're looking at this and you're asking yourself that, you're completely right. Now, I say it's a bearish pennant, and that really only means that it leans anywhere from like 55 to 45 or 60 to 40. It's very, very slight. And for the most part, they are still very, very neutral formation and continuation patterns. So when you're looking at pennants like this, you have to take it with a grain of salt because of the fact that it really can go either way. Now, things really start get confusing when you start looking at things like your MACD and your RSI and other things like that. Because then we can go and we can highlight this guy and look at this and say, all right, well, your oscillators are pointing straight up, but then you have bearish divergence on your MACD, and then you go over to your RSI, and I will leave this on here because this has to do with the daily. And you go over to your RSI, and you're like, all right, well, we were oversold, but now we're getting consecutively higher lows. But then you have a double top, right? You have a double top in your RSI, and you're like, okay, well, great. Well, then you switch this over to the 1 day, and you say, all right, well, this is what we're looking at the 1 day now, right? You had bearish divergence. It looks like it's getting swallowed up. It looks like it's actually turning to bullishness. Excuse me. You look like you're rounding off, and then this is where things really look clean because of the fact that you do. Now, this is how consistent higher lows on an RSI should look like. Like ideally, like this looks great. But then why am I bearish, right? Well, the fact that this is a bearish pennant, this can technically count as a bear flag, and you are running on consistently lower volume over here, right? We're talking about this guy. The volume's consistently dropping off, which is again bad. And the fact that this is a bearish pennant, it breaks down, formed this bear flag. Now you're dropping off volume, and you're stuck in between your 50 EMA on your 4 hour and here is another bad thing. So you have conflicting readings everywhere, but at the same time, you're at the bottom of a pennant support. So you have support right here, and you have a pennant support. So you could say, okay, well, maybe in theory, this could, and this is, again, sorry if this goes fast because this is kind of complicated. This is going to be a complicated episode. But like, what if we got rejected here, and then we came back down, and then we bounced, and then we hit this 200 EMA, and then we hit the top of this guy, and then we can really decide if we want to either break down or break out. Because these are all things that could happen. So, again, you have a million conflicting readings, and in this area, Bitcoin is it's so weird. It really is. It's a weird time for Bitcoin because this is essentially just a coin flip. With this being, if this was like any other formation, I would think about trading it. But the fact is that being a neutral formation pattern on top of everything else, this is just like a coin flip. Like I don't think I have a coin on me, but you literally, oh, I do. You're literally pulling out a coin, and you can just throw it into the air. And your guess as to whether you choose heads or tail determines whether you long or short is almost, it's not going to be as good, but it's almost going to be as good as if you do a full-on technical analysis of this, right? That's how much of a coin flip this one is. And I rarely ever say that. I really do. This is one of those times where it is like either way, it could literally go either way. And I know that's not like what anyone wants to hear, but when looking at this, again, it's not something that very many people are trading. If you go and you look and watch or listen or follow a lot of really experienced guys in this, they probably aren't going to be trading Bitcoin this weekend. Maybe even the altcoins, but I know like the majority of people in crypto right now are not going to be trading Bitcoin this weekend. So what does this mean? Where are potential targets? Jalen says, for a newbie like me, would you recommend using a simulator of some sort? Jalen, what do you mean? So for trading, are you saying with trading, would I recommend starting out with paper money, or would you say, can I speak? If you were going to trade this using a simulator to, predict where it's going to go, or do you mean like using a bot for this kind of thing? I have a tool. I can't show it on Livestream. It's an indicator that someone that I know made, but I don't have his permission. I can message him, but It's it's an indicator that my friend made. It's talking about like buying and shorting and where to do that, but I can't show it on live stream, I don't think. So, because again, it's his property. Day trading crypto by reading TA. Yeah, so I would say definitely if you're day trading, especially with leverage. Now, I can't tell you what to do. I can't give you advice. But when I started day trading with leverage, it was extremely hard because it is a lot different from swing trading and you can't really act like it's the same. What I've done is I've learned that I was not nearly as good at day trading as I was at swing trading, but I still was good enough at day trading to where I enjoyed it. So what I did was I kind of created this hybrid between day trading and swing trading, and I created this hybrid that I eventually got really, really good at, where I'm able to make some small trades and some big trades. Usually I don't make more than like 2 trades a day. And as of recently, I haven't really been trading at all in this area. But I would recommend, if you're trading, especially with leverage, start out with like paper or fake money or something. Or just say, all right, I would have gone 10x here. Or just like start out and like if you're on somewhere, you can trade with like 1 cent or like something super small. So then you get the idea. But I would definitely recommend not starting out with lots of money. Get yourself used to this. Get yourself started in this. I'm helping actually one of my roommates out right now, and he's doing paper money. So if you're day trading crypto by reading TA, yeah, I would definitely say don't go straight into it with all your money. There really are so many types of trading, right? I really like the hybrid that I have going now in between like a day trading feel and a swing trading feel. Like I'm not holding these things for months. I'm not holding trades for usually like a week at a time. Sometimes I'll hold trades up to a couple days. Sometimes it's a couple, maybe it's an hour or less. So, oh yeah, here, let me, Randy just really posted a really good link here. Hopefully that made sense. Anyway, the moral of the story, Jalen, is I would highly recommend using that link that Randy just sent. It's the testnet for BitMEX. I believe on there you should be able to just like trade paper money all day long. And it's a great way to get started. Because again, you're not risking any capital. You can literally just do your own thing. Sorry for making another request, but could you look at October 18th, 2014? It's pretty similar, I think. Yeah, it really is, GD, and it's really good that you brought that up. So let's go ahead over there. Let's switch this to a 3-day. Oh, this isn't one of the charts that go back. Yikes. So I actually have a video comparing 2014. I need to update it. I might do an update video on 2014 in relation to 2018 because they're really, really similar. And I've kind of changed my view, and we actually can go back here. Perfect. I've actually changed my view since I made that video. So my views on what I thought would happen have changed. Oh, yeah, this is good. This is juicy. You guys are going to be in for a treat now. All right. So this is going to start looking really, really freaking similar, right? So this is the run of 2014. Very, very similar, especially the bear market following it, right? It looks so freaking similar. It's funny and scary at the same time. So with this all breaking down over here, what'd you say? October 18th? October 18th, 2014. It's like right in here. Do you mean 2015? Or do you mean 2014? Because that's like this area. I'll wait for your response and then we'll keep going. There's so many types. Yeah, there really is. What were we saying? Right now I'm only hodling, but my portfolio is spread out. Yeah, again, diversification of a portfolio is a great thing of risk management. Randy, thank you for the link, my dude. That's a mirror image of BitMEX, yeah. Good evening. Welcome, Michael. Great to have you. Welcome, GD, as well. I don't think I said that. Which one were you talking about here, GD? You might have been talking about October. Oh, no, I was in the wrong. I was in 2013. I'm sorry. You're totally right. I don't know how I didn't catch that. So let me go over here. October 18th. Yeah. So that's like right in this area. Right in here. Now let me pull up another chart over here so I can see. Yes and no. I would argue that we're probably more down in here than we are over here, because of the fact that, again, I see this still as like the giant descending triangle area, like this being this, everything in, let me go and circle this, everything in this area all being like 2018, and then this being like 2019. All right, this being, so then of course here, let's break this down. So with this run over here, again, you have your 2017, right? Great freaking year. 2018 comes. So let's just label this. Can we do shapes? I think we can. Anyway, 2017, right? Over here you have 2018. And then over in here you have 2019. And I think, again, this is going to be very similar. They look very similar, and I think this is going how it's going to be playing out as well. And then, of course, you go over here, and you start moving into the 2020. And then I think you start, this is where things, again, start really picking up, because then you start going into 2021. And then I think you go over here. Well, we actually need to spread that one out a little bit more, but then you get into 2022. And then, of course, like 2023, right? So I think it's going to be fairly similar. Maybe not like this fast. Maybe spread this out so like the peaks at like 2025. Anywhere between 2023 and 2025, I think is fairly safe to say. Or 2022 could be it. I think anywhere between 2022 and 2025, you're going to have a new peak on Bitcoin. Like, it's going to peak and then go into another bear market. So when looking at this, again, slightly ADD, but again, I think we're in this area yet, right? Have we actually bottomed? It's possible. It is possible. I think it's unlikely, but someone brought up a really good point in the comment section of one of my videos recently, and that was, since everyone and their mother, every analyst, and all these YouTubers as well, myself included, have been saying, we're going to go deeper, we're going to go deeper. Bitcoin has a tendency to flick everyone off and go the opposite direction. Like, you know, whatever you expect it to do, it usually says like a big F you and goes the opposite direction. So if all these YouTubers and analysts and news coverage are saying Bitcoin's going to keep going lower and lower and lower, to me that lowers the chance that it's actually going to go to like 1K or lower and lower and lower. Because, again, it has a tendency to not do what everyone's saying it's going to do. Like, and I know, this is probably a bad example. This is probably a bad example. But when we were up here, people were saying, oh no, this is just a dip, buy the dip. It's going to go up to 50K, right? I can't tell you how many videos I saw on YouTube of people telling me XRP was headed to $5 and Ethereum was headed to 2K, and what else was it? And Bitcoin was heading to $35,000 and all this stuff. And then instead of heading to 35, it had, you know, it went down to $3,000. So the same kind of thing goes. And again, I know a lot of people up here were saying, don't keep buying. So that's why it's a bad example. But in the same sense down here, you have everyone saying it's going to go lower, it's going to keep dropping. And it very well could, because we're still in a bear market and that hasn't changed. But be careful, because the fact that everyone is starting to become a bear makes me become more bullish on Bitcoin, right? So hopefully that makes sense. We won't actually move until, or Miguel says, yeah, it's Miguel. We won't actually move until they can tax the XXX out of us and all the big players safely play the game. Yeah, honestly, that's the thing, is like, technically, I want to ask this. How many of you guys are actually going to file cryptocurrency tax? That's one of the big things right now. It's like, it's a joke. Cryptocurrency tax is kind of a joke. So I always ask this question, and it's, who's actually going to file a cryptocurrency tax? And it's usually like a couple people. Why? Because it's a joke. Like, nothing's going to happen. Okay, let me rephrase that. There's a very slim chance that something happens, unless you own like $100,000 in Bitcoin or something, and you're only trading off Coinbase, and they can see all your movement. So, I mean, I think you're right, Miguel. Until like the government, until some sort of regulation happens, I think this is going to be kind of set. But the regulation is coming and it's happening. Paul, welcome, Hassam. Great to have you guys. Crypto Moon Boys, welcome, Bob. All right, I gotta fly through these comments before we go back into the technical analysis. Hi from Australia. Love your honest TA. Thank you so much, Paul. Means a lot. Great to have your support in here. Hassam said, interesting take. Has Bitcoin ever ended a correction without capitulation? I mean, it's really only had like one real market cycle. Again, it was born in January 4th of 2009, and I'm 90% sure on that, right? January 4th of 2009, Bitcoin was officially born on the blockchain. And since then, it really only had one market cycle, right? From 2014, it came back down, and this is really our only look at the lifespan of Bitcoin, because you have from 2009 to 2014, and then you have from 2014 to where we're at right now in 2018, going to 2019. So it definitely looks like, and if we want to zoom in back over here to, well, this is only 2013, so it's really not a good example. I wish we could get a chart from like Mt. Gox all the way back to 2013, but yeah, again, it's hard to know because we've really only gone through like maybe one life cycle of Bitcoin, one market cycle, because again, it's so young. It's only been around for less than, or 10 years, just over 10 years, literally this month being over 10 years. So has it ever? Technically, no, right? If we go back here, and everyone knows capitulation is my favorite word. Not really. But it's kind of true at this point. I wouldn't say this is capitulation. What I would say instead of this being a capitulation, well, it could kind of be a capitulation phase, but it's also, I would say a better word for this is a consolidation phase, where everyone is, again, just so much sideways movement, so much consolidation, so much focus of price, where it gives everything time to catch back up. It gives everything time to kind of reset itself. The technology improves significantly from this point to this point. So then all of a sudden people are like, why in the world is the price the same here as it was over here if the technology is miles and miles ahead of the fact where it was over here? And that's the same thing with Bitcoin right now. I told you guys we had a lot of hard stuff to talk about today. I wasn't kidding. That's the same point right over here when we're looking at this guy and saying the technology here is miles ahead where it was like over here. Maybe not over here, but like you get the point. If we keep dropping at this level, like right now the technology is very, very beyond the point that we were over here. And don't fool yourself. The technology has come miles in Bitcoin in the bear market because I don't know, it just has. If you look at the fundamentals behind the technology in all of these projects, like a lot of these projects have just like, they've had so much time to catch their breath. If you were looking at a lot of the lead developers for a lot of these cryptocurrencies, they were saying that they could not focus and they could not promote and they could not work on their cryptocurrency during this period of just parabolic movement. They did not get the chance. They did not get the breather to continue developing their token. All they had to do was make sure that their token, that their cryptocurrency and their blockchain was able to handle this much, I don't know what the word would be, not volume, but this much activity. They were so focused on like everything that was happening over here. People were like, well, just put out news updates and this and that. And people weren't worried about the technology and how it was actually improving. They were more worried about, hey, just give us some good pump news. But again, it was a big thing. If I don't, for those of you guys who are around, you probably remember. But like during this whole period in here, all of these lead developers were like, please give us a bear market. We cannot keep up at this pace. It is very unhealthy. We cannot even work on the projects because of how parabolic everything is. And it was really bad for the projects themselves. So, where we're at. So yeah, does that make sense? If that does not make sense, do not be afraid to tell me in chat. Good chance that this is the bottom. Good chance to go lower. Anyone who says otherwise is kidding themselves. Good chance that this is the bottom. Good chance. Yeah, I mean, again, it can go either way, right? It can bottom out. I wouldn't be surprised, but it can definitely still go lower, right? The trend is your friend. We're still in a bear market. That has not changed yet. But, you know, again, I mean, we'll see. I'm not waiting. The thing about this is a lot of people try to catch the bottom, and I mentioned this, so a lot of you guys already know, but a lot of people try to catch the bottom, and then they wait and they wait and they wait till the exact bottom moment, and then they want to dump their entire load. And that is like a really risky thing to do. So I agree with you, Crypto Moon Boys. Jalen says, your video about not going below 1800 was spot on, in my opinion. Yeah, so it's not the fact that it can't go below 1800. It's the fact that I don't think it would stop at 1800. And let's go ahead and bring this back. And again, we'll go back into actually doing technical analysis. But I want to talk about this because that's a really good point as well. With Bitcoin in 1800, if you guys don't know, I just made a video on why Bitcoin would not bottom out at $1,800. So currently, if you guys haven't watched that video, we're in this area, correct? Below this area, we have even a thicker area of support right over in here. We have significantly more consolidation in candle body closings and horizontal movement. So this big guy is a support. So if everything above this broke, right? If everything above this broke and this guy breaks and this guy breaks, then why in the world, if I can draw this up, then why in the world would this guy not? This little baby, right? That was essentially what I broke down. I said this, I don't understand why this would be a bottom for Bitcoin. There are some good analysts that believe this, and I'm not trying to hate on them, but there's a lot of them that are just copying other people's predictions. And to me, that doesn't make sense at all for a bottom. Now, I said I think you could either end in this area or you could either end in this area. But again, I don't see 1800 as any real kind of support. It is a support. It's just not a strong support, right? Is that, if you guys see that consolidation holding up this bear market or reversing the bear market? Because I just don't. And it's not to hate on people who do, right? There are arguments for it, but I don't think it's enough for me. The capitulation is an urban legend. Capitulation, my least favorite word. Wow, I really did miss a lot of chat. 84% retracement on Bitcoin is the average correction. It's the same as 2014. Where is the Crypto Moon Boys? Where is the 84% retracement onto today's market? I'm actually curious. Bitcoin to 50K by this year. Alex, I am not too sure about that one. As much as I would love that, I don't think it's too probable. But, you know, again, I'm fine if it does. If it does, then I made hella money. I bought into Bitcoin a bit today, even though it was only... Hey, okay, so that's another thing, is don't be ashamed about... Because you can always trade and work with it. The biggest barrier for people is that they look at this and they go, oh, well, I can only buy 0.02. And I'm not trying to get you guys to FOMO in, so don't take it as that. But some people will never buy Bitcoin for the sheer reason they go, oh, well, I can only ever own 0.02. And that's all I can afford right now. And then they'll never buy it. I know people who have said this. And then a year later, you know, they have the same amount of money. Let's just say it's like, I don't know, I think that's like $200 or something. And then a year later, they have like another $200. And they go, oh, well, I'd still never enter in. Even though it's a good price now, it's a better price now than it was like a year ago. I would still never buy in because I still only have these $200. And then maybe 6 months later, they have like another $200. And then they keep saying, I won't enter in because I only have this much. So again, it's all about accumulation. If you guys don't know, I don't think I've told you guys. I'm currently in, and I have to fly through these comments. I am currently in a project where I'm trading from 0.00, I believe it's 0.001 Bitcoin or 0.01 Bitcoin all the way up to 1 full Bitcoin. So from like 1,000th of a Bitcoin to a Bitcoin. And that's the current challenge I'm doing, and it's actually really fun. So I challenge you guys to do it with me. If you guys, again, feel confident enough. It's probably not the best challenge to issue, but it's something that I'm doing for myself, and I'm finding it interesting so far, and I'm actually enjoying it. Hello, welcome Amar, welcome Alex, welcome Deg. Great to have all of you guys in here. Is it going up or down tomorrow? That is a very wow. So that's like, again, that's not really what I do. I don't really tell people if it just goes up or down to buy or sell. I actually cannot do that because I can get in a lot of trouble. But I can say, in my personal opinion, it's a coin flip, Deg. In my personal opinion here, this is, yo, Chris, thank you so much for subscribing. Welcome to the crew. Great to have you. In my personal opinion, again, we talked about this for a very long time at the beginning of the live stream about why this is such a conflicted area, why it's giving us conflicted readings, why it's such a hard coin flip. And when we're looking at this, this is literally, I don't know where my coin went, but we were just talking about it. I lost it somewhere. How do I, okay, there it is. Right, it's literally like the odds of what we're at right now is almost the same as if you were to just get a coin and throw it into the air and be like, all right, well, that decides whether I'm longing or shorting. Obviously, your prediction is slightly better than a coin flip probably in this area, but that's just how conflicted this chart is that it's almost the same as a coin flip. So it's a 50-50. I'm not trading this area. Almost everyone I know in like the YouTube or technical analysis world is not trading this weekend because it's very risky. I said if I had to bet, like if someone held a gun to my head and said, all right, well, what's it going to do here? If someone held a gun to my head and said, bet that it's going to go up or down, I would bet that it's going to go up. But I would be, again, betting against a lot. I would be betting against everything. The trend is your friend. You have 3 touches on resistance. You're below both your EMAs, and this is a bearish pennant. So, and then you have, again, conflicting readings everywhere. So, again, don't trade off of what I just said. It's a coin flip. It's not worth trading, in my opinion. So I'm not trading it. Alex says 4-year cycle. Yes, sir. I know, I'm very behind on these comments. I'm sorry, guys. Crypto Life, great to have you. Welcome back. Jalen means a deep price correction. Or sorry, guys, I'm reading through chat. Just DCA in from here. Yeah, so if you guys don't know what DCA means, what Crypto Moon Boys said was dollar cost average. It's a concept. It's really easy. You can like type it up on a video or in Google. Super simple. Hassam said, a capitulation event is an extreme point in which selling pressure climax with a huge wick down, usually followed by buyers who bid up the price. Oh, I see. Right on. Thanks, guys. Hassam well explained. Yeah, actually really well explained. It's basically, yeah, you guys, again, you guys can type in the word capitulation. It'll come right up. Oh, wow, we are flying through comments. I think we hit around 85% on the low. Okay, perfect then. Trying to understand the market sentiment is tricky. Shorts being low while longs being relatively high makes me feel the sentiment is much more positive than what people believe. That was from Hassam. Crypto Life said, how do the AI predictions tools work for... How do the AI prediction tools work, like Predictio Coin? Predictio Coin? I've never heard of Predictio Coin. I generally stay away from AI predictions. I have looked into some, but I've never used one to trade. I'd be interested in doing and starting from as low as 0.01 Bitcoin, but it's rough. Yeah, I believe that's where I started. I'd have to check. It's bad. Again, I haven't checked in a couple days, but I'm like 90% sure it's 0.01 Bitcoin to 1 Bitcoin. So it's something like, I don't know what it is. It's like less than $50 right now, I think. Anyway, that's what I'm doing. I'm well above that right now. I think I went from 0.01 and I'm currently above 0.05. pushing 0.06. So I'm about 6 times over what I started. Big move coming soon, probably going down. Again, it's a conflicted reading here. Crypto bear boys. Okay, wow, I think I'm actually caught up with chat. Perfect. Do you see the current do you see the current chart pattern in an exact miniature and previous few days? It is almost like the same bot is repeating and rinsing. Yes, I do, because this thing has been BARTing everywhere. All right, we talked about BART formations. Or maybe that was in the Patreon actually, but I think we've talked about them on Livestream. Again, BART formations everywhere in here, just BARTing up and down and I almost said sideways. It's not actually BARTing sideways, but you guys get the moral of the story, like BARTs and BARTs and BARTs and BARTs. And where can we, I mean, you can just look and find BARTs everywhere in this chart. It's really annoying and manipulated. But anyway, now that we've done our full-on technical analysis of Bitcoin, we'll come back to Bitcoin in a little bit, right? We'll check back up on it. We'll see what it's doing. But I want to go ahead and look at Ethereum. So we're going to look at Ethereum to the US dollar. We're going to, of course, be doing this on the Coinbase exchange. Interesting. So we're going to be doing this on the Coinbase exchange, and let's go and see what we got over here. Ooh. Interesting. All right. So, oh yeah, that's ugly. Why do I even have this here? So that's actually a good support. No, it's not. We can actually delete the support line because of the fact that it is, it's pretty much impossible to ever be touched again. And the reason why it's impossible to ever touch again is because the fact if it ever comes this low, well, I guess in theory it could touch this support line, but it'd have to go parabolic straight down, and that would put it at $15. And then pretty much if it were to touch this realistically again, it would put it in the negative, and that's not possible for cryptocurrencies. So we can pretty much just go ahead and delete that. So let's look at Ethereum. I haven't looked at Ethereum all day, so I'm going to be doing this live as if, you know, again, I'm doing this for the first time right now. I haven't looked at it in a couple days, to be honest. I haven't looked at Ethereum in a good bit. So if I was looking at this, I would ideally try to draw this up something like in this range. But like, oh man, this is hard. I don't really think that you have any kind of good resistance besides the fact of maybe in here. Maybe in here? Jeez. Probably in here, right? Because here, that way you have 1, 2, 3, all wicks touching, which I would say is generally important. And something that I'm actually watching out for in this area is possibly a descending triangle that could be forming. All right, if we want to slide this up a little bit, I would just be careful because it looks as if this could be a descending triangle. And I believe the measured move down, well, maybe it wouldn't. That'd be a deep fall. The measured move down would almost be down to this level. Let's check it. It's not the tool I wanted. Let's go ahead and draw this guy up. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't even be that steep, so it's kind of hard. So it's definitely not anything bullish. I wouldn't say that anything in the immediate future of this is really that bullish. But it's hard to say because the really hard part about this is that you don't have any kind of real solid resistance. Like you have this guy, and maybe this wicks up and touches. So let's go ahead and just leave that in there for now and say that these are really what's happening. Also, another thing that I'm noticing about this is that these are ever so slightly higher lows. So, I don't know. Again, it's a hard spot for Ethereum right now. Okay, actually, let's just say that's a support. Okay, this could actually be a pennant. Yeah, so let's actually say that. Let's keep this as a pennant. And boom. So yeah, actually that worked out really good. So it's in the same exact situation that Bitcoin's in, being a pennant. But it's still below both of its EMAs. And I want to look at this on a one-day chart. I want to look at some of the indicators and oscillators here. Yeah, so it's below its EMAs on here as well. God, this is conflicted readings. Yeah, wow. That did not help it out at all. All right, so that's very bearish. And that's neutral bullish. Daggum. These charts are just, wow. They are crazy. There's something else. Go to the 1 hour and zoom in for witnessing the copycat chart. And zoom in for witnessing the copycat chart. What do you mean, Dag? Am I caught up here? Do you see the current chart pattern is so okay, so let's cover Ethereum before I go back to Bitcoin here or into any altcoins. But again, the fact of the matter here is this is an extremely just messy area that I don't want to touch. Ideally, I would say that this is bearish, but I don't know. This is just weird. It's weird. I would say ideally this is bearish. Not something I want to trade in here. Oh wait, this is again. So something else that we can kind of draw up here is the fact that this could be a diamond pattern as well. I think it's fair to point this out before moving into anything else. Oh wow, it's really sloppy. I'm sorry, guys. You guys get the point though. So we can kind of adjust this guy to be more like this, and we can kind of see this diamond pattern playing out. So diamond pattern forming on Bitcoin. Your guess is as good as mine here. Ideally, again, I would say bearish. All of your oscillators are just everywhere. They're all saying like different things. You have your oscillators saying different things from your indicators, and then you have your indicators being conflicting. It's a hard place to be. So I would ideally just stay away from this. And this is one of the few times where I'm literally just speechless, and I'm actually having a hard time figuring out what I want to say, because I'm looking at these charts and I'm actually just saying like, you know, again, coin flip. Where's the coin? You get it, you throw it. That's your guess. It's probably not what you want to hear, but again, I don't want to ramble too much. Let's go back into chat. All right. Oh, I'm actually caught up on chat. Perfect. So moving into, I guess, anything else. I don't know if there was something else I want to talk about. Okay, so there was one more thing. I was supposed to make a video on this originally about probably about 2 weeks ago, and it was called proof of keys. Now this is a key concept again with Bitcoin, and essentially what proof of keys is, and I think I actually mentioned this on stream, but the amount of Bitcoin that are in circulation is not the amount of Bitcoin that you think it is. So there are 21 million Bitcoin in existence, or there is going to be 21 million Bitcoin in existence that should be circulating. A lot of those have been lost, and guys, give me a thumbs up or a yes or a no. Like, I don't know, give me a response here as if you guys know what I'm talking about, or if I've mentioned this before, because I'm really not sure. But there's supposed to be 21 million Bitcoin in circulation. There's not ever going to be, because of the fact that a lot have been lost or stolen or destroyed. And what I mean by destroyed is someone put them on like a hard or a physical wallet and then destroyed that, or they put it in a paper wallet and lost it, or something along those lines. So you have a good amount of Bitcoin that have been lost or destroyed or etc. over the past 10 years, especially in the early years of Bitcoin. There's a big thing where like 4 million of those got lost. And then on top of this, you have some of these people who have their net worth of, like, again, millions or billions of dollars of their net worth, and they're saying, okay, well, I have 15% of my net worth in Bitcoin. And that's insane, because then they're like, okay, well then if all these million and billionaires have X amount of their net worth in Bitcoin, then that's a lot of money, or that's a lot of Bitcoins that's gone to these higher ups. And then you have these exchanges, which again are saying that they're owning X amount of Bitcoin on their exchange, and they have X amount of Bitcoin circulating their exchange, and they own that much. So then you have the exchanges which are purchasing all these Bitcoins. You have the million and billionaires who are owning and purchasing X amount of Bitcoin and just holding them. And then you have all of the ones that have been lost or destroyed. So that asks the question, how many Bitcoins are actually circulating between the general public, being like 95% of the world, probably 99% of the world, right? How much is actually circulating to us? And it's a number that's significantly lower, and that's what brings up proof of keys. Because the idea was that these exchanges are not actually, they do not actually have as much as they're claiming to have. They are tricking us into thinking that there's more Bitcoin around than there really is. And you guys might be asking yourself, well, why does this matter? Why does this, what does this mean? Well, what it means is that the supply and demand changes. If there's a lot of Bitcoin in existence, demand drastically goes down because the supply is up. But if there is significantly less Bitcoin in circulation than what we think and what we can actually own, and say that there's only actually maybe 5 to 10 million Bitcoin that we can actually own because the other 11 is either lost, destroyed, or held by people in exchanges, then the supply for Bitcoin just cut in half. So in the theory of supply and demand, if there are less than half as many Bitcoin in circulation that we could own, the price would in theory double. But the big thing with proof of keys is that these exchanges, I need to get something to drink. The big thing is that these exchanges and people have been lying to you and telling you that there's really more Bitcoin than there really is. And when we were asking these exchanges and people to check and show us the proof of this, it was basically the answer was no. So now I think there's an order where they have to verify how much they own, and it's a big thing. Again, it's called proof of keys. You guys can look into it, and that's what it is. And then you started seeing like bank runs and other things happen, but it's a big deal because now it's like the truth is going to hopefully come out within like the next year or so as to how many are really there. And if it's this, again, if it's one of those things that if the numbers, and they might try to suppress it or trick it or hide it because they can do that. But if there really are only like 5 to 10 million Bitcoin and the supply is cut in half of what we thought it was, then the demand drastically rises because then you have, basically, you would only have enough for, I think someone did the math on it. Every millionaire, not billionaire, every millionaire in the United States and Canada, if they wanted to purchase one Bitcoin, would not be able to. And that's a scary thought because I can guarantee that 99% of this people in this chat are not a millionaire, and we all want to own a Bitcoin. So apply this concept, maybe one person in here is a millionaire, and apply this concept to the entire world, right? Again, demand drastically rises because of the fact that people are realizing, okay, well, now they're actually becoming hard to get. So, big rant, deep talk, but it's good. It's good to know. So think about it. Look into proof of keys. I challenge you. Cryptocurrency is so much more than just the technical analysis. Before I even did technical analysis, those of you guys who have been around for a while know and realized I worked for a company as a fundamental. I worked as their fundamental analyst of cryptocurrency and blockchain technology, and that's what this YouTube channel was founded on. I've adopted TA because a lot of people are really liking it right now, and the fact that fundamental news and analysis is just lacking. Like there's not a lot to talk about in fundamental analysis, but again, it's what I originally started out as, and it's very, very crucial. I think it's great. Mixing the fundamental analysis with the technical analysis is one of the things that has helped me out a lot in cryptocurrency. Hassan said, hi, don't forget to hit those likes. Interesting perspective. I already have my bags in case we shoot up. But I'm also ready for some dry powder to buy more if we drop and win. Yo, Hassan, thank you so much for, again, staying active in chat and, telling everyone to drop the like. I think that's a good point. If you guys are enjoying the content, drop a like. It helps out the channel a lot. And I definitely appreciate it. Slicekeeper said, or lost their hard drive in a landfill. Yeah, exactly. The IOUs. Carbon Patrick, what's up? Great to have you in here. There are more Coinbase accounts. There are more Coinbase accounts than Bitcoin in circulation. Yeah, that's a good point. So Hassan just said there are more Coinbase accounts, being over 25 million, than there are Bitcoins in circulation. Again, scary thing. And that's only, guys, imagine that. So the fact that only a couple % of the world is in cryptocurrency right now, and there's more Coinbase accounts already, and only like I think 2 or 3% of the world's in cryptocurrency. Or no, not even close to that. But so let's go ahead and break down Bitcoin one more time here. We can actually break it down on a 1 hour. I really don't like looking at the 1 hour unless I'm doing anything really crazy. But this is going to be more, again, more shorter term, because this is going to be the 1 hour chart. And what I want to go ahead and break down here is the fact that your oscillators are consistently moving up. So this is actually looking like a decent case for Bitcoin. The fact that your oscillators are consistently getting higher lows over here on your MACD. So again, that's good. You do have 2 separate swing lows over here. I guess you could say, yeah, so in this area, so maybe that is a little bit bearish. You have some sort of bearish divergence, but you have come a long ways over here. So I wouldn't be too discouraged. The fact that you are consecutively and consistently getting lower swing highs on all of your 1 hour MACD oscillator says that, hey, maybe in the very, very short term, you could have something going for you. This is, again, one of the concepts I've pointed out in a million videos, but I want to keep pointing out because there are new people here, is the fact that your RSI is a very useful tool. Now, while no indicator or oscillator should ever be used, in my opinion, to ever be the sole proprietor to why you should enter and exit trades, they can help out a lot. And the RSI is one of, if not the most helpful, in my opinion. So let's talk about this, right? This is, and we can even erase this last one. So we talked about this. This is your RSI, and this is the 1 hour, and this is even more so important on larger time scales. So when we're looking at this and we're saying, well, is this reversing? Could this have some upside? How would I know? Again, this is a great example. This is your RSI, and the same thing goes for vice versa on the flip side. So we're oversold down here. You actually swing low, you come back up, you consolidate, you have a second swing low, and it's a higher low than you previously had. So what you see is you actually have lower levels of negative momentum in this area. You came back up, you tried to come back down, it wasn't as strong. Lower levels of negative momentum. What this tells you is that negative momentum is leaving the market, right? This is for the short term because this is only a 1 hour time frame. So the bears are showing bearish exhaustion or something like that. The bears are not as strong on a separate swing low, not nearly as low as the previous one. So lower levels of negative momentum shows you, and this is called double bullish divergence, and saying, okay, hey, you could be looking for a potential upside now. And the same thing can be said on the vice versa. Again, let's go find an example, right? I mean, there's probably all of these are examples. You know, lower swing high. As soon as you start seeing this get rejected, you're like, all right, something's going to happen. And this almost always ties hand in hand with the candle body charts. Another example right in here. I mean, we can draw this a million times right here, pretty much everywhere. Right here. Over here, you have a double top on your RSI. Oops, messed that up. So, watch your RSI. More of the story. Indicators are useful. They're not like the one and all, but they are useful. So how long have we been going? So we've been going for almost an hour. So if you guys have any questions, I'd love to be able to answer those. But I don't know. I feel like we've covered so much in this live stream. This has definitely been one of the most useful live streams I think that I've done in a while. So I do want to remind you guys, if you guys haven't already, the Patreon post, if you guys don't know what Patreon is, essentially, I don't even know how to explain it. It's a service system. Today's post was completely free. Go check it out. There's no, I don't know what the word would be, catches. There's no catch. It's literally a free post where I give a Bitcoin update. I just put it in chat. Go check it out. Tell me what you think. And yeah, I don't know if you guys have any questions. I'd love to be able to answer those. But for the most part, there's really not too much else to talk about if we're being honest in here. You can hang around and see what's happening on Bitcoin. But yeah, I'll look for a little bit of support. I mean, the more I look at this, the more I look at, oh, excuse me, Tired. The more I look at this, I just like, again, I have a hard time believing that this is the bottom. But it's, again, it's possible, right? If I were to go back to 2014 and look, I'd probably say the same thing there. I'd probably say, all right, I'd have a hard time believing this is the bottom. But again, I really do have a hard time believing this is the bottom. It's very possible, but like, I don't know. It just wouldn't make any sense to me. But like these big term trends and reversals are a lot more difficult to I guess call. Thank you for your time, buddy. Good show. Look forward to more content. Thank you so much, Hassan. Thank you for stopping by in here. It's great to have you. Slice Keeper said, can we take a look at Cardano? Absolutely. ADA to BTC. Is that cool? Or do you want BTC or do you want it to the US dollar? We haven't looked at this in a long time. Jeez. What actually we have? I forgot. That's why we have the parallel channel right here. This is a 1 day. Let's switch this to a 4 hour. What is wrong with this guy? So I wonder if we can raise this up ever so slightly and just correct this. And then draw it out a little bit more like that, and maybe then we can say it's a parallel channel. I think more so than a parallel channel, I think what this really looks like to me is a broadening wedge, an ascending broadening wedge, which is bearish. Because of the fact that you have this guy over here, just connect some dots, and then you have, and we could kind of say this guy. Really, no matter how you want to draw this, it's pretty much an ascending broadening wedge, right? If you draw it like this, it's again the same thing, an ascending broadening wedge. It's bearish. If you draw it like this, it's even more so an ascending broadening wedge, which might be a better way to draw this. So that way we can reduce this guy. So I think, I don't know, yeah, I would say no matter really how you draw this formation on Cardano is a pretty bearish thing. Looking like it's doing a little bit of similar diamond formation. Oh, no, it's actually not. It's actually not doing a diamond formation. It's missing the whole diamond top. So like there's no top here. Huh. So yeah, I don't know. I would say regardless, you're using your 50 EMA as support still. I would say just barely, and you're looking really bearish. So Cardano's, I would say, looking really bearish right now. It is, your RSI is neutral for the time being, but yeah, I would say Cardano's bearish at this point. So that's just my personal opinion. And this is a 4 hour. We can look at this on a 1 day, but I think this is probably, again, one of the most clear charts that we've looked at for some time. Ooh, dang, that's conflicting. Strength and Gain says, do you mind covering XRP? And GG says EOS. Hassan said, one question before I leave. What do you think about people who do TA on things like market caps, shorts, longs, RSI, MACDs? Seems like a lot of fluff to me. So with, I think it's fine. Honestly, I think it is. I think you have to be careful. So TA on market cap, I would say no. With TA on shorts and longs, I think it is very misused. I think you can do it, but it's very misused. Because if we go over here to, I don't know, how do we do this? Bitcoin shorts. Right? Or where is it? Is it called BTC shorts? I forget. Whew. BC to Euro shorts. Ethereum shorts. That's not wanting to work with me. I forget what it was called. I think, oh, here it is. Bitcoin shorts, Bitfinex. So the big thing that people don't do with, welcome Rob, great to have you. The big thing with this, Hassam, is people hold this to a double standard. They either only look at it when the shorts are low, or they only look at it when the shorts are high. And then they won't look at the longs. And then some people won't look at the longs when they're low, and they won't look at the longs when they're high. And then some people only look at the longs chart, and then some people only look at the shorts chart, and they hold this double standard, and they say, well, shorts are low here, or this is low there, or this is happening here, and they refuse to look at it on the flip side of the end, or when the opposite situation's happening. So a lot of people, I would say that you can, but you can't hold it to a double standard. You have to do the exact same thing when it's over in here, and you're seeing, all right, consistent higher lows. But you have to do the same thing when you're up in this area. And a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people just like look at this and they're like, things are about to get wrecked tonight. Right? So, again, I think technical analysis on the MACD and the RSI can be done, but it cannot be done like it's a candle chart. And that's where I think people have things. You can look at this and you can kind of get a general idea of what's happening. But again, the hard part about doing like technical analysis on the MACD and the RSI is that, again, they are not candle charts, and you can't treat them as that. So when I see this, what I see this as is a signal to me, not that this is a higher low on the charts or anything. Well, this is a higher low on your RSI. This is a one-day RSI, so that's good to see. Consistent higher lows. But what this is showing to me is that there are lower levels of negative momentum. I say that a lot. And when I look at this, I see, okay, well, this is lower levels of negative momentum consistently, because every time you have been, we'd have to, again, confirm this, but right now you are, and just like this, again, this is bearish, right? Because you are getting consistently lower highs, saying that you are getting consistently lower levels of positive momentum. Which is saying, okay, well, now that 1, 2, 3 times on 3 separate events we've swung high and we've gotten consistently lower. That's saying to me that the positive power, the bullish power, any kind of buyers that you have into the market are slowly fading away. That's what this is telling me. And it tells me the vice versa down here. So that's my thoughts on doing technical analysis. You can't do it, you can't have it like done and be like, all right, well, here we're forming a falling wedge, so we'll have a breakout, and like, you can't do that. But you can do stuff like this. Oh, good stretch. Helpful thanks. Waiting for the next Bitcoin dump. Time will tell. I hope you guys all have your coins. You better flip them. Robert G said, yo, shorts Bitcoin. Yeah, we're just looking at the short chart. We were breaking it down because someone was asking about whether you can do technical analysis on like RSI, MACD, shorts, longs, market cap, etc. So, what were we saying? We were talking about XRP and EOS. So I'll go ahead and do XRP and EOS, and then we're going to cut this out. I guess we'll come back for like one more thing, but for the most part, after XRP and EOS, we're not going to take any more requests because we're going to round this thing up. We have to do this on Bitfinex. Do not like charting on Bitfinex. This is why. Look at these crazy wicks, just like everywhere. You always have these crazy wicks for manipulation. I hate charting on Bitfinex. Jeez, dude. Their charts are just AIDS. So, you still have, I guess the moral of the story here is you still have a great overbearing resistance. You have a very solid support. And this thing has just been playing out. What are we on, a one-day chart? So I would say, I would say that this is the same situation. XRP is really waiting to take off, I think. I think XRP is underrated for the time being, and if a breakout does happen, I think XRP is going to shoot. And I do hold that, so disclaimer, I do hold XRP, so I'm not trying to shill it or pump it, but I personally believe it's very underrated in its current state. Oh, here we go. This is what I wanted. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Very fine support. But this is where, again, it's getting squeezed. This is a pennant on XRP. Or it's a diamond. It's it's weird. It's like a diamond and a pennant. Jeez. Yeah, no. So you're getting squeezed. Moral of the story, you're getting squeezed between your 50 EMA and your support. Much like Bitcoin. So you can see over here that there's very clear line of resistance. I mean, like as clear as it can possibly be and as respected as it can possibly be. Right? So you can say the same thing over here. Pennant. If you want to call this a diamond, then all you have to do is add these. All you have to do is draw a little bit more here, connect a couple more dots. Boom, there's your diamond. And you could like connect this guy too. Boom, there's your diamond. But who cares about the diamond, right? So this is XRP. Ideally, this would be, again, a bearish pennant, but I don't know. I mean, this chart looks decent, and then I look at the MACD. Honestly, I think XRP doesn't look too bad. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just don't feel like this. I feel like this is a better looking chart than Bitcoin. Like I feel like I'd be more confident logging XRP than I would Bitcoin, but at the end of the day, it's just gonna follow Bitcoin. So again, I would not be surprised that probably sometime in February. It could happen sooner, but I personally think sometime in February, XRP could go on a run again. And if we look at this on a daily chart, then we'll get into the EOS for GD. I mean, XRP really isn't going on a run in a while. Like a solid run. It really hasn't. It's really only had like one or two in the bear market. This one being, oops. This one over here being its first one, and this one really being its second one. A lot of coins have done stuff like this. I mean, Tron just did one recently, and Stellar's done them. And a lot of these other coins have. So, all right, let's go ahead and look at shorts on Bitcoin bound to dump. Yeah, I mean, so what we were saying earlier, Robert, is that it's such a conflicted chart. It's a, I'm just calling it a coin flip. So we'll see. Jeez. This is an old chart. This is really old. Wow, when is this? When is this from? I haven't used these, I haven't used these guys in a long time. I remember when I used to have these kind of lines too. Because these are a special kind of lines. Oh jeez, this is going to be impossible to grab. Alright, screw it. Daggum, that was a little bugger. He did not want us to get grabbed. Yeah, I hate these thin lines. Alright, so if I'm looking at EOS over here, this is EOS to Bitcoin on the one-day chart. I'm going to go ahead and move this to a 4-hour chart so we can chart it better. And then we can look. So if I'm looking at EOS over here, broke your support. The one thing that I'm noticing over here is that there's definitely support in this area. Yeah, I was going to say right in here you definitely have some support. You could probably even make this into a parallel channel. Or maybe a rising wedge, depending on how you draw it. Yeah, I would say it's probably like a parallel channel / rising wedge. But this is a sticky situation. Unlike most coins right now, this is actually caught in between. It's actually getting squeezed in between its 200 EMA and its 50 EMA. So if I'm looking at this, I'm seeing bullish exhaustion on your 4-hour. That's a great example of bullish exhaustion. So why is this bullish exhaustion? Well, again, it's plateauing at the same level for a long time. Shows me that the bulls are not giving up. They're fighting, but again, it's just staying relatively the same. It's just a sign of exhaustion for me. And your RSI double topped? Yep, your RSI double topped. So maybe this does break down. Maybe this does break support here. I don't know. I feel like the support's really strong on EOS at this point. maybe not really strong, but you definitely have a decent amount of candle body closings. It's nothing huge. It hasn't been around for long. This has only been in existence for the last week, so this channel is only a week old. It's nothing big. But, yeah, I don't know. It's, again, you don't really have too much to chart about here. I mean, like, we can maybe connect this and say, okay, well, that could be it as well. And then we could say, well, then this is a pennant, in which this is a true 50-50 chance because of the fact that this is just sideways movement, pennant forms. Yeah, I don't know. I'd be leaning towards bearish in this situation, to be honest. I'd be leaning that this is a bearish pennant, but again, a pennant's a pennant, and that's, yeah. So I don't know, take that as what you will. But for this video's sake, again, I don't know, it's getting ready for something big, regardless. When you're looking at this, you're saying, all right, well, it's getting ready for something big because of the fact that it's getting squeezed in here between supports, resistances, and your 50 and your 200 EMA. So it's getting squeezed real hard. You can tell that pretty clearly. And this is actually even better. Showing clear rejection over here from your 50 EMA on your one-day chart. So just be careful. I don't know. Maybe short dump, then big pump. Something that looks like it could do over here. That's a theory that I have. Short dump, then big pump. Maybe. Let's go ahead back to Bitcoin, and then we'll round this thing up. Ooh. I'm slightly tired. It's early too. Well, it's not early. It's 10:45. How are you guys doing tonight, by the way? Do you guys have any fun weekend plans or like cool weekend plans? It's still kind of early in the year, but I know I have something fun. I'm going out tomorrow over to a it's like a friend's place. If you guys don't know, I am fairly young. I'm 21. I'm in college. So I'm probably just going out. It's college weekend, so I'll probably go out, have some fun with some friends or something, and then make a video. I got a lot of work to do. It's going to be a really, really hard, crazy semester. Drinking an IPA. Fair enough. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this. I mean, again, there's really not too much else to say. I will have a video tomorrow, guys. Don't forget. I cannot talk. Don't forget, guys. Go ahead and check out the Patreon. Vegas, baby. Go ahead and check out the Patreon post. Again, I've said it's free. It was really cool. I did put a good amount of time into it today. I think I can actually pull it up right here. Boom. So this is the chart and what it was labeled. Everything was very detailed and labeled. It was really cool. We can kind of actually go over it a little bit right here, but we've already covered most of this. It was very detailed. I talked about where I thought it was going to go, potential targets for everything. Broke it down very in depth in here. It's a cool read. So yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys did enjoy. That's going to be the end of this live stream. If you guys haven't already, drop a like on this video. Oops, that's the wrong place. Where is my chart? Oh, there it is. If you guys are enjoying, drop a like. It helps out the channel a lot. And now I actually lost my thing. But it is much appreciated. If you guys aren't subscribed already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you guys want to see more of this content. But I do appreciate all of you guys being in here. Hassam, thank you. Hassam, Slicekeeper, Rob G, GD, Strength and Gains, Carbon, Deg, Slicekeeper, Bob, Crypto Moon Boys, Jalon, Crypto Life, all of you guys, thank you guys so much for being in here. There's a lot of people I can't even name. Alex Sanchez, Paul, Miguel, Randy, Jalen, all you guys, thank you guys so much for being a part of this. It really did have a good night. We covered so much. One of the best live streams that we've done in a while, especially for, I would say, the first half when we were going over like Bitcoin sentiment. I think that was really, really useful. But all right, guys, thank you guys so much. If you guys have any questions, shoot me a message on Discord or an email, and I'll see you guys next time.